In this lesson, we're going to have a look at some problems involving parallel and perpendicular vectors. But first of all, let's have a look at the concept of a vector between 2 points. So at this point, I should draw the distinction between the position of a point and the position vector of a point. So let's say I've got a point A, which has coordinates 2, 3. On a set of coordinate axes, A would be there, 2, 3. Now remember previously when I introduced vectors and I said that vectors describe motion from one place to another, not the position of something. But what if I did want to use vectors to describe the position of something? Well, there is a way around it. I could say that the act of going from O to A is achieved by the vector 2 in the I direction and 3 in the J direction. And this notation means the act of going from O to A. So OA with an arrow above it means the act of travelling from O to A. And now that gets around the problem, because now we can use vectors to describe the position of something by simply considering the motion from the origin. So to get from O to A, we simply travel 2 in the I direction, then 1, 2, 3 in the J direction, giving us the vector OA like that. So now taking this concept of position vector, i.e. how to get to a point from the origin, we'll have a look at this question. So it says the points x and y have position vectors. OX is -2, -7j. So OX, and I always like to write them in column format. I find it easier to work with. OX is -2, -7. And OY is 3, 5. Find the vector xy and hence the distance xy. What I'm going to do here is terrible notationally, but what I'm going to say is just x is the point -2, -7, but make that point in vector form, going against everything I told you before. But I'm violating this notation knowing what I'm doing. So even though it's not technically correct, I read this as saying the position vector of x is -2, -7, and the position vector of y is 3, 5. This says, what do I have to do to get from x to y? Well, first of all, I have to travel 5 in the I direction, because to get from -2 to 3, I add 5. And here, I need to travel 12 in the J direction. So xy, we get by doing y take x, and that goes for any 2 sets of points. We simply subtract their position vectors, so second take first, in order to find how to get from one to the other. So that becomes 3, 5 minus -2, -7, which is equal to 5, 12. So that's what we do to get from x to y. And then it says find the vector xy and hence the distance xy. Okay, so the length of the vector xy is equal to the square root of 5 squared plus 12 squared. And recognising your Pythagorean triples, you might either just remember that that's 13, or you can check that in your calculator. So that's how you get from one point to another. The position vector of the second point take away the position vector of the first point. And here's another example here. The points A and B have position vectors 1, 1 and 2k respectively. That's telling us that to get from the origin to A, we travel 1 in the I direction and 1 in the J direction. Same as saying it has coordinates 1, 1. And point B, to get from O to B, we travel 2 in the I direction and k in the J direction. The same as saying it has coordinates 2k, where k is a constant. So this notation here, given that AB equals 5, now this is talking about the length between A and B, not the vector AB itself. If it was talking vectors, it would have an arrow above it, but actually in this context it wouldn't make sense to say it was a vector, because that's clearly a number, not a vector. So by context, it's also talking about the length or distance between A and B. And we're being asked to find the possible values of k. So, first of all, we should find the vector AB. If we want to know the distance between A and B, which we're given to be 5, we should find the vector AB, i.e. the act of travelling from A to B. So AB, as we learned before, is the position vector of the second, take away the position vector of the first, equals 2k, make that look more like a k, take 1, 1, equals 1, k minus 1. Next, let's find its length. So the length of the vector AB, i.e. the distance between A and B, or the distance travelled when going from A to B, we can do that by doing Pythagoras with the components of the vector here. So equals root of 1 squared plus k minus 1 squared, which is equal to root of 1 plus k squared minus 2k plus 1 equals root of k squared minus 2k plus 2. And we're told that that's equal to 5 in the question. So now we've got something we can solve to work out what k is. So if I square both sides now, I get k squared minus 2k plus 2 equals 25, which then means that k squared minus 2k minus 23 equals 0. So I could either use the quadratic formula now, because I can see that's not going to factorise, or just use the calculator solver. So 1k squared minus 2k minus 23 equals, so 1 plus 2 root 6 and 1 minus 2 root 6. Therefore, k equals 1 plus or minus 2 root 6, are the two possible values of k. Right, we're going to move on now and apply this to parallel and perpendicular vectors. So, I'll start off by saying two vectors are parallel if they're multiples of each other. And there it is there, two vectors A and B are parallel if A equals something times B, where that something k is a real number or a scalar. And let's have a look at what that means. So let's say A was the vector 2, 3, 2 in the I direction and 3 in the J direction. So writing that down, A is the act of moving 2 in the I direction and then 3 in the J direction. Let's do another vector B, which is double that. So instead of being 2, 3, it's going to be 4 in the I direction and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the J direction. So B equals 4, 6. Well, we can see that those two are parallel. They get no closer to each other as they go, because one is exactly the same as the other but just doubled. So it goes in the same direction but just for twice the distance. So it's double the length but moving in the same direction, and that's what makes vectors parallel, one being a multiple of the other. So in this case, A equals 1/2 of B, or equivalently B equals 2A. Therefore, A and B are parallel. If we move on to perpendicular vectors now, and we're sticking with vectors in 2D for now, well, it's similar to perpendicular lines. two 2D vectors are perpendicular if the product of their gradients is -1. So let's move straight on to a couple of questions involving parallel and perpendicular lines now. So state with a reason whether the following pairs of vectors are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So to test whether they're parallel, we've just got to try and spot whether one is a multiple of the other. So I can see here for part A, 6i plus 3j is equal to half of 12i plus 6j. Therefore, they're parallel. Part B. So let's try and spot if one's a multiple of the other. So to get from 10 to 1, I divide by 10. So if they're parallel, if I divide this by 10, I should get that number as well, which I don't, so they're not parallel. It's not a multiple of 10, 5. So let's now try and check the perpendicular, i.e. whether their gradients multiply together to get -1. So gradient of 10, 5 equals y difference over x difference, which is 1/2. The gradient of 1 minus 2 is y difference over x difference equals -2. 1/2 times -2 equals -1. Therefore, they are perpendicular. And if neither were the case, you'd simply state that. So in the case where neither of those calculations work out, you would just state they're not a multiple of each other. The gradients don't multiply together to get -1, therefore they're neither parallel nor perpendicular. Now the final concept we're going to have a look at is collinear points, i.e. points that lie on the same line. And 3 points lie on the same line if the following holds. So A, B and C, 3 points, lie on the same line, i.e. are collinear, if AB and BC are parallel. And we'll go through why that is now. So say we've got 3 points, A, B and C, and these points, as we're about to see, do indeed lie on a straight line. These 3 points are collinear. What this condition is saying is that A to B goes in the same direction as B to C, and since they share a point, B and B there, then if two vectors going in the same direction pass through point B, they must make a straight line. So two parallel vectors passing through the same point must form a straight line. Now let's put this into practice with a question. So the points A, B and C have position vectors 6, 10, -3, 5 and 15, 15. Prove that they're collinear, i.e. that they lie on a straight line. Well, first of all, let's see what we have to do to get from A to B. Well, that's B minus A. So -3, 5 minus 6, 10 equals -9. 5 minus 10 is -5. Now let's have a look at BC. Equals C minus B like that, equals, so 15 double -3 is 18, and 15 take 5 is 10. So to get from A to B, we travel -9, -5. To get from B to C, we travel 18, 10. So now I can see that AB is minus 1/2 of BC. Therefore, since AB and BC are parallel and share a point B, this implies that A, B and C are collinear. And that's that section done. Have a go at the worksheet now and practice these questions.